For the past month, us One Piece fans, we be eating good. Like, really good. It all started when Gear 5 Luffy finally hit the anime, and then it turns out that the Netflix One Piece adaptation is actually good. Like, god damn, dude. It feels good to be a One Piece fan right now. All this good shit we've been eating lately, it honestly has really made me think about the whole journey I've had with One Piece. About all the positive ways it actually has affected my life. One Piece has become more than just a cartoon I watch for fun. It has become a piece of media that has truly become a part of my life. Listen, I know how cringe that sounds, but hear me out. I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that they have connected to someone over One Piece. I've made friends over One Piece, I've bonded with my brothers over One Piece, and as much as it's cringe to say, I feel that I've connected with thousands of people over One Piece. One Piece has truly lifted my spirits in more ways than one. There really was a time where I was going through a rough time emotionally, and One Piece was right there, helping me get up, and in a way telling me that I will get through this, and things will get better. And I really want to share that story today. And the thing is, well, it's a story that involves a girl. Yep, I've gotten to that point in my YouTube channel where I just start talking about all my failed relationships. About all the times I've had negative riz. This story takes place back during my junior year of high school. I was part of a science class that was filled with half juniors and half seniors, and in this class, there was this one senior chick who I had a huge crush on. At this point in high school, I haven't had a single girlfriend, let alone kissed an actual girl. So far, I've been friend-zoned too many times, and I've never really worked up the courage to actually ask out a girl. I really felt that this was my time to finally put myself out there, and just to see if I can actually get a girl to like me back. I made the effort to be friends with her, I acted all flirty, and I really tried to give her the hint that I was into her. We started getting close, and things sort of worked, but not really. We became really close friends, as close as we could have without actually dating. We became nothing more than just really close classroom friends. We didn't talk or hang out much outside of class, but when we were in class, we always sat next to each other. We always sat at the same table, and whenever there was a group project assigned, we always paired up. We became so close that one time we were talking about how her birthday was coming up within a week, and she talked about how since this was her last year of high school, she was a little disappointed because she always dreamed about having someone spontaneously surprise her with a gift on her birthday. She mentioned how it was something that she always kind of wished happened to her. She said how it happened to most of her friends, usually by their boyfriends, and some of them actually had some guys just straight up tell them that they liked them while doing something like this. After she told me that, I saw it as this was my chance to finally ask her out. I wanted to give her a gift, half because I saw it as the perfect way to finally tell her how I felt, and also because I genuinely wanted to see her happy. My feelings grew towards her to the point where if she was happy, I was happy. Looking back, this was honestly the first of many mistakes to come. It was the day of her birthday, and during snack, she was hanging out with her friends, and I actually surprised her with a bouquet of flowers. I know, very romantic. I genuinely believe that she wasn't expecting it to happen, because that was the happiest I've ever seen her. She was all giddy, jumping up and down. She gave me a hug, and she told me that she was so happy that her little high school dream of getting a spontaneous gift on her birthday actually happened. And it felt good. At the time, I believed that this was a good sign, that this was me getting one step closer to finally being together with the girl that I really, really liked. I didn't end up telling her how I felt that day, mostly because she was just surrounded by her friends the entire day. I couldn't get a one-on-one, and I wasn't just about to tell her how I felt in front of all of her friends. And honestly, not telling her that day was my second mistake. Doing so would have saved me a lot of trouble down the line. Things between us didn't progress beyond that. Things pretty much stayed the same that way for the entire year, until she graduated. Like I said, she was a year above me, and we didn't keep in touch during my senior year. That was honestly the last I would have seen of her until I ended up graduating. When my graduation ceremony rolled around, it was during 2020, and You can imagine just like that whole year, it was scuffed. I wasn't expecting this, but on the bright side, guess who was there? It turned out that she had friends that were graduating the same year I was, and we actually were excited to see each other. We reconnected as if all that time didn't pass. We were able to talk as if the last time we saw each other was the day before. We exchanged contact info this time. I gave her my Insta, she gave me hers, and we basically just picked things up right after that. After I graduated, we stayed in contact through the whole summer. We texted every day and all night. It even got to the point where we would say good morning and good night to each other every single day. I even started doing some cringy ass shit where I started calling her cute names like Princess. The way things were moving, it felt like we were gonna become an actual thing. Now that I felt that we were closer than ever, I finally confessed and I told her all the feelings I've had throughout high school and how I feel now. She responded by saying that she always kinda knew. She knew that through high school that I had a crush on her, and she was really just kinda waiting if I was ever gonna make the first move and tell her that I had a crush on her. Now that my feelings are all out in the open, I asked her if she felt the same, that if she wanted to get into a relationship together. She was flattered that I really liked her that way, but the thing is that a little over a month had passed since she had broken up with her previous relationship. This was before we started seeing each other again, and she felt that she wasn't ready to get back into the dating scene just yet. My next and probably the worst mistake I made was letting her know that I would be waiting for her for when she's ready to get back into dating. After that, things between us didn't really change at all. We continued to talk more and more, and we hung out just as frequently. I really felt that with how close we were, she was bound to at least give us a chance. I really felt that it was just a matter of time before she decides to come around and we become an official relationship. Fast forward about another month of this, and I ask her the question again. If she feels any differently about us, and if she feels if she can give us a try. She told me the same thing, that she wasn't ready to rush into another relationship and that things were still too early for her. Of course, I felt a little irritated by her answer, but hey, I respected her decision. I wasn't about to make her do something that she didn't want to do, so I just left things at that. Soon after, that was when I started noticing red flags. We weren't chatting as often as we used to. She became less responsive whenever I sent her something, and we just started hanging out less and less often. On one of the few times where she responded quickly, I brought it up and I asked her if there was anything going on as to why she was less engaged than before. She said that personally she was dealing with some emotional stuff, that it was something she wasn't in the mood to talk about. That was when she started being very insecure about everything. The playful teasing and flirting that we would do would now get under her skin. She snapped at me at one point where I had to apologize for being too friendly. My attitude towards her completely changed. It went from me being completely open and honest with her to me having to walk on eggshells whenever I wanted to talk to her. It seriously felt to the point where I had to watch what I was about to say because it felt one wrong move would cause her to snap at me again. Her insecurities did not get better after that. The thing is that I still had feelings for her. I've liked her for so long, it didn't feel right that I should cut her off at the first moment when things are going rough. This felt like something we should work together to get over. Trying to see things through that perspective was honestly my next mistake. The last time we ever hung out together, I should have seen it then. The last time we ever hung out together, I arrived at her place with a supportive mindset. I wanted to help her, or at the very least piece together what was going on. I tried to get the ball rolling, but we barely talked. She was on her phone for the majority of the time, like I was just an afterthought. Her mom was kind enough to bring us food, but neither of us were hungry. Eventually, I got fed up, and I asked why she was looking on her phone so much. And this is when I should have realized that things between us were over. She was looking through guys' profiles on Tinder, half laughing while she was doing it. She mentioned how a couple guys have been trying to DM her, and that she has been jokingly replying to a few of them. You could probably guess how that made me feel. I don't even remember how the rest of that day went. I just remember that later that day, I was lying in bed thinking about what am I gonna do with her. After that, our chats were nothing but, hey, what you doing? And it was like that for like about a week. And that was when it happened. It was a late evening, and I was sitting in my living room couch looking through the stories of all the people I know on Snapchat. And that is when I see that she posted something recent. And what I saw, well, it broke me. It was a selfie of her on a date with another guy. The next photo was a selfie of them making out. And the worst part is that she looked like she was happy. Right there, my heart sank. We were never in a real relationship, but the feeling of heartbreak that I felt was every bit as real. I knew that it was one of the guys she was talking to on Tinder. I was so disappointed. I felt inadequate. I said to myself, does she not know that I still like her? Did she forget? How is it that he was able to make her happy while I couldn't? Why is it that she would rather give him a chance but not me? What made it even worse was that she made that post not too long ago. So they are probably still together right now. I laid on that couch for what felt like an hour, not thinking, not doing anything, just feeling absolutely awful. Out of the blue, I got a text message from one of my close friends. She was a girl, and I told her that I needed help. I needed someone to talk to, and I basically told her everything. She was understanding and comforting, and I started to feel a little better. But then she sent something that ruined it. She might get her own video someday, and I know she was only trying to help, but she only made it worse. She said something along the lines of, any girl would be lucky to be in a relationship with me, and when she said that, that just made me angry. I was this close to saying something hurtful, but I stopped myself, and I ended up just saying something like, thanks for listening, and talk to you later. After that, I just felt even worse. I wanted nothing more than to just cry into my pillow and never wake up. I didn't bother getting up off the couch. I just laid there, all miserable. That was my lowest emotional moment. There, at my roughest moment, an unexpected hero actually came to my rescue. My little brother walks into the living room and he says to me, it's time to watch a movie. Together, we have been trying to find the time to finally watch a One Piece movie. One Piece Stampede. I was not in the mood to watch a movie, let alone anything One Piece related. The way I was feeling, watching a movie was the last thing I wanted to do. But my little brother was insistent. He didn't know when we would get the chance to watch it again, so he wanted to watch it right now. Me and my little brother, we're close, alright? But we're not close enough to where we just openly talk about our girl troubles. I wasn't about to tell him how I was feeling, so I reluctantly said yes, and he put on the movie. I honestly thought I was going to hate this movie, that my feelings were going to ruin all my enjoyment, and this night couldn't get any worse. I couldn't have been more wrong. Before I knew it, I completely fell in love with the movie. I completely forgot I was sad. I just enjoyed the movie. One Piece came to my rescue when no one else could. I don't want to talk about the movie all that much. This video is already getting long enough. I just want to talk about the ending. Ace was my absolute favorite character in One Piece. So to see him again at the very end of an already amazing movie, Ace and Sabo coming in clutch at the last moment to save everybody, it brought a tear to my eye. That Fire Fist was all I needed to see to make Stampede a 10 out of 10 movie. Only One Piece could pick me up when I was at my absolute lowest. Because of this whole journey that I went through before I even watched the movie, that is why Stampede to me is my all-time favorite One Piece movie. Better than One Piece Film Gold, better than One Piece Film Red. It is a 10 out of 10, no competition for me. When the movie was over, me and my little brother were blown away. We both absolutely loved it. Because of One Piece, I went to bed that night with tears of joy. When the next day rolled around, I gave a lot of thought about a lot of things, and I ultimately came to the conclusion that I should just cut her off. I wrote her a paragraph-long, heartfelt message telling her that I don't want to be friends with her, that I came to her looking for a relationship, and that I can't handle us being friends. I was looking for a relationship, and she wasn't. I wasn't going to be that person that was just going to wait around, hopelessly waiting that maybe she'll come around and notice me. And that I couldn't handle being around her anymore. I sent the message, and she replied about a few hours later, and she just gave a one-sentence response, basically saying to do whatever you want. She never promised to ever be in a relationship with me. Her response was pretty much what I expected, and that was the last I ever spoke to her. I don't think that there is a moral to my story. I guess it's more along the lines of just be aware of the red flags when you're trying to get into a relationship. Or I don't know, maybe it's something like, screw 3D girls, 2D girl supremacy. Go for the power of God and anime. The One Piece is real! Yeah. Well, that's my story about how One Piece really did help me when I was in a rut. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and as always, thanks for watching.